I'm going to go with the lighting that I have discovered in this video because it's not what I planned, but it's really cool. It looks really nice, looks really cool quality, so I'm just kind of rolling with it right now. But the topic of this video is just, you know, life's too short to not do what you want. As long as, of course, it doesn't hurt anybody. And my relationship with this is interesting because, you know, as a Christian, you got to hear me out on this. So, I'm not saying do as thou wilt. That's not my motto. But you might as well at least take some sort of a chance on what it is you're passionate about and what you love, and you got to make some time to do that because we see kind of a society that's kind of burning out right now. People are struggling. You know, everyone's pretty angry. People are looking for people to blame right now. And with the world events, it's just coming to a head almost. And it's really causing me to think. Just also like life has really caused me to think. Because I'm 29 now. I've welded. I've done carpentry. I passed my cybersecurity exam. I've worked with some electricians. While I was pipe fitting, I learned about plumbing. It's been a really interesting education of the 20s. And I never really settled on one of those like, oh, this is my happily ever after, because there's no page in this life where the storybook closes. The saga is always continuing in real life. So it's not that I'm lazy. It's not that I'm not doing, you know, the things I have to do. I'm a very responsible person. Number one rule is you got to know thyself. But I've also, you know, lived two lives where I'm almost exhausted to do the things I want to do because I'm so busy doing the things I need to. Now, what made me say this? I've been working 2 jobs recently. 2 jobs. Now I have 1. Now, why is that? I was doing really good at both of them. I was very motivated. I wake up at 7, and I would be working until 5 or 6, like putting in 10-hour days, and then going over to the gym, working out, going home, and doing the things that I'm passionate about, but I would still do it like as I was tired. It just didn't seem like a thing. So I had an interesting week last week, and now Thursday, this is where the whole saga starts. I pick up the phone, and at the front of my second job, and some guy who has their vehicle with us calls up, and he says, "Where is my vehicle?" I'm going to keep all names and subjects out, just because I want to keep everyone's business private. But I basically said, I don't know where it's at, but my superiors do. Would you like me to take down your name and phone number, and I could have them call you back? This guy, in his stressed out state, heard something completely different, thinking that we had somehow misplaced his vehicle, which I don't know how that you come to that conclusion. That would be a really big problem if we did. But he came through the front. And this guy was not chill at all. Goes to the back and starts in with some of my coworkers. It was just a dumb situation. So then Friday comes along and no one's bringing anything up. Everyone's super busy. And we're working. And we kind of just close down for the day. And I'm getting a lot of thank yous and everything because I actually helped the day go along. I actually went down across the valley to pick up parts that they needed. And it's interesting because that following Monday, after I was putting out energy, like basically silently praying, not like full-blown praying, but putting the thought out there, man, what a great group of guys I work with. But this is what I need to do, not what I want to do. So, God, if you have any objections, speak up. Through these people, through events. So I come in to the second job on Monday in a great mood. I'm ready to work. And that is when I'm getting some venom from one of the technicians. He's telling me I'm not allowed to do anything around the place. I need to keep my mouth shut. Just hitting me with most of the disrespect that it was making me basically question. I'm like, why is this guy treating me like this? So I had tried to talk to him, but he just told me to my face, shut up and all this stuff, and that I'm not, like basically treating me like I'm a vermin. And then I get this whole lecture on what I did was wrong. I was confused about it. I was always getting excuses. And it basically bled into some stuff on like some things where it's like, I was told that what I did was really highly punishable or something like that. And I checked with my attorney and I told him this story. And the attorney like laughed because the excuse I was given is I made this guy think something that made him act out. And the guy who was my rep said, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I don't really know what's going on. So I come in Tuesday, talk to the guy, to the owner, and we end up parting ways because, one, I was even told I shouldn't be defending myself or defending my case that I didn't do anything wrong. Because I never gave this guy wrong information. All I said was, I really don't know anything about this. Let me get my superior. And then it bled into this guy starting in with the back and all this jazz. And what I'm just saying is you can do what you need to do, and you could still have some BS reason come out of nowhere and just smack you across the face. And luckily, I was very glad that I really don't have much to worry about in the legal areas. But here's the number one thing, though, that I said. I was actually grateful for, that it was just such a clear sign at the times that, yeah, you could do all the right things and you could still get condemned. You could go in with all the intentions and something crazy, wacky happens and everyone's pointing the finger at you. When deep down I know I did nothing wrong. That to me was all the things I had to walk away from this situation. So luckily I have my other job, Well, not luckily. I mean, that has nothing to do with it. But that's the crazy part is, everybody at those jobs knows me as like a very hard worker and a very honest person and someone who owns up to his mistakes. I refused to own up to that mistake, and I was told that I should stop defending myself and just take the lie from this belligerent kid. No, I stuck to my guns. And I went to Guitar Center today for 2 hours and just played a bunch of instruments. Felt free. I had more energy to do what I loved. I worked out more this week. Did what I loved. And you know what? I was happier for it. Now, am I still sometimes peeved off about the wrongfulness of whatever the hell happened? Yes, I don't think it was fair. It wasn't fair. And that's like the thing. I could be the guy that everyone just points the finger at and condemns. I hate to play that victim card. But people look for scapegoats that come out of nowhere in life. People are going to find reasons to just hate you no matter what. Even if you're doing the quote-unquote right things. So you might as well look after yourself. And look, it's no wonder that a lot of people are turning away from breaking their bodies down in this workforce. Because this is everywhere. People lack integrity. People only care about themselves. They're in their social media. They let their TikToks absorb them. Now, if you watch TikTok, I got no problem with you. But some people just live in those apps, dude. As much as I enjoy certain channels on the tube, you know what? Some people let social media consume their lives. And they're always chasing that publicity. They're always chasing that stuff. And they have these shallow reasons behind what they do nowadays. And it's happened very often to where I meet probably 1 in 10 people who are real, but those other 9 are some of the fakest people. More reason to just, you know what? I have to do what I like. Because especially the way this society's holding up, there's no guarantees. You know, as a believer in Christ, it's not that you're not supposed to judge. You're supposed to judge righteously. You're supposed to be a fair judge. You call good, good, and you call bad, bad. To all the real people out there, you guys are the reason I get up in the morning. You guys are the reason I continue to shine bright despite seeing all the nonsense out there. But to all you fake people that I have had the displeasure of meeting, I'm not giving dogs what's holy. I think I'm paraphrasing here, but it's as a sinner returns to his sin, a dog will return to its vomit. Spiritual dogs. Swine. People who cannot rest until they do evil, until they do their misdeeds. There's a lot of people who are saying we're in like the biblical end times, and you know what? Part of me believes that. I'm not going to make the definite claim that, the apocalypse is tomorrow, we should all just give up. No, if the apocalypse happens tomorrow and Judgment Day, they're going to be ready to judge a guy who's on his grind. I'm going to be on my grind until the trumpets sound. I'm going to always work in some way, shape, or capacity. Whether it's for money, my health, anything. And I'm not going to let anybody tear that down. It's motivating. This whole thing of BS has been so motivating and so eye-opening. But I'm reaching my time limit. And I am saying you don't have to be purposeless. There is a purpose in this world for you, whether you believe it or not. This whole nihilism push that has happened in life has forced people to think they need to make something work that is not meant for them. Otherwise, they just fade away. Hogwash. Absolute BS. You got a purpose. The world's going to give you signs, and you better follow them. Ask for a sign. Go ahead, ask. And be sure you are listening with both your eyes and your ears and your wisdom. That's number one. And unfortunately, it's like the number one thing, though, I could say. Yes, to be righteous is to be kind, but it's not to be weak. Be kind, but don't let that kindness become weakness. Know when to put your foot down. Know when to have passion. Know when to judge fairly. Know when to be compassionate. Know when to talk. know when to listen, know when to start, and most importantly, know when to stop. And with that, I'm going to end this video because it's time to stop. I'm at like the 15-minute limit I promised myself, and I could go all night. But I'm going to make a lemon into the sweetest glass of lemonade you have ever seen. Peace.